So our first speaker, most importantly, is Malcolm, who is our CEO and one of the founders of MyRepublic. So without further ado, here's Malcolm to kick things off.
Okay, thanks, Enning. I can't see anybody. I can just see this bright light that's burning a hole in my retina. So anyway, thank you all for taking time to come out today. We know you're all busy. Today is a great day for us at MyRepublic. We think today is a great day for Singapore broadband consumers. Today they get more choice, hopefully more innovation on the Singapore NBN. Today we want to tell you the story of MyRepublic. We want to tell you why we started the company, what we're trying to achieve, and how we think we can make a difference. We're going to do that through 3 stories. So myself and 2 others are going to take you through 3 perspectives that will show you our passion, our vision, and our commitment to the customer. So the first story is around the walled garden. So more specifically, the telecommunications walled garden. So I worked in the telecom industry for 20 years. I worked at cable TV companies, telephone companies, mobile operators. And all these companies, they take their customers and put them in a safe, secure environment. They control the access, they control the services that are offered, they control the connectivity to the rest of the world. And this model has worked very well in the past. They provided voice services so that you could talk to your friends and family. They provided IDD, long distance services, so you can talk to your children when they're overseas at school. They've even gone out and found innovative and great TV content and brought it inside the walled garden so you could be entertained at night. The model worked great. It was a good experience. It was a good experience, and the model worked great when there was no choice. When the only people building new services were those telcos and cable TV companies. Then something happened. The internet started bubbling away. I was actually at a conference in 1992, and a keynote speaker at Supercom, he brought it up. He said, "There's this thing we call the internet. It's out there. A lot of the universities use it. We think it might catch on." And there was a lot of debate about that back then. 20 years later, I think it's caught on. But in the early days, people used it for surfing. People used it for email. The telephone companies embraced it. They said, "This is great." They took a tiny sliver of the network that they had built and said, "Yes, let's use this for internet access." One thing happened, though. Along the way, the internet evolved. So this is a report from Sandvine. Sandvine is a telecommunications manufacturer, a vendor. In this report, you can see, it's kind of hard to read, but at the bottom, real-time entertainment, which is sort of streaming video, it's doubled in the last 2 years, and will continue to double. In the United States, there's a company called Netflix. Some of you may have heard of them. They represent over 40% of the entire traffic in the United States, and that's online streaming. In Asia, even without a company like Netflix, the numbers are the same. So what are people doing? We're seeing a lot of people today are finding their own content online, often for free. Here in Singapore, they watch Korean dramas, they watch Hong Kong movies. Last month, they watched the Australian Open tennis final online for free. Earlier this month, they watched the Super Bowl online for free. People have developed a habit of watching what they want and when they want. It's a new world. The problem with this is they are continuing to try and use the incumbents' telephone network. So they continue to use the telephone companies' networks. These networks are not purpose-built for these new applications, video streaming, online gaming. They're built for surfing, for email. The good news is the Singapore government saw this coming a long ways off. As part of the Intelligent Nation 2015 plan, the Singapore Next Gen NBN was born. And it's a fantastic network. You know, it's fiber to the home, it's fiber to the schools, it's fiber to the business. It's ultra-fast connectivity, a minimum of 100 megabits per second everywhere. And most importantly, it's at affordable prices. You know, 3 years ago, if you wanted a 100 megabit connection, you'd pay over $2,000 a month for it. You know, today, those services are available to the average user for well under $100. I remember when I was at StarHub and we worked on the bid for the operating company of the NBN, and we were so excited. This was a transformational event, a transformational network. It was the first network of its kind in the world, and it was truly an exciting event, even for us who had been in the industry for such a long time. But a funny thing happened along the way. Nothing happened. You know, the incumbents, they took these next generation network and they put it inside the walled garden. They apply the old principles that they had. You know, the contention ratios, and contention ratios are the assumption of how many people use the same pipe. They still capped international capacity. They throttled network during peak hours. They managed this brand new network the same way. An analogy that I heard is, you know, in the old days, they built an old country road. And on that old country road, people would ride a horse and carriage. And that was fine. That was fit for purpose. It got you from A to B. Today in Singapore, leading the world, they built a highway, you know, an 8-lane superhighway with no ERP, right? So no, not yet. And what the telcos have done, what the cable companies have done, is they've said, here's your horse and carriage. They put it on the superhighway and said, go. You know, that doesn't work. You know, it's not logical. So, you know, here are some examples of people who are trying to use the NBN. So this is a comment from an article that was in the paper last month. All you people using the fiber high-speed broadband are paying a lot more for high speed than is limited to the Singapore land use. For international speeds to international websites, you actually will be limited. So paying more doesn't mean it will be a better except in the Singapore area. You know, this is an example of people capping international speeds. Another example, I was in M1, actually still with M1 until February 25th. In my opinion, they have oversold their fiber service with their $39 promos. I subscribed since their trial days, and I can't see it, and I can see it deteriorate. Certain times feels like low-end ADSL. Here's a company that's taken the best broadband network in the world and have effectively deteriorated it to the customer experience of DSL. There are some companies that don't even want you to use the NBN. So here's a comment from another subscriber. I wanted to recontract my cable broadband account to the fiber offer, but the StarHub salesperson told me to stick with what I was using, cable broadband. I thought that was rather strange, but I took his advice anyways. I'll wait a few more years before settling for fiber. Well, we think it's strange too. You know, here we have the first national broadband network in the world, the best broadband network in the world. And the incumbents are not doing anything with it. You know, somebody who's been involved in this project from the beginning, it's extremely frustrating. Here's an example from Daniel from OpenNet. Daniel sitting in the front row. OpenNet and the industry must continue to promote the benefits of fiber broadband over traditional broadband services using ADSL and cable. Relevant content and applications will also help to drive adoption. So Daniel, we couldn't agree more. You know, people are trying to use new applications, streaming applications, gaming applications. It's a new world out there. It's a second generation of the internet, and it's time for us to embrace it. So what we're doing today, you know, MyRepublic, we are the first service provider that's purpose-built for the NBN. We don't offer DSL services. We don't offer coax services. We offer fiber-based services, and that's what we're good at. So what does this mean? So for us, it's offering national broadband services without a walled garden. It's offering national broadband services that are tuned to the new requirements of the internet. And how do we do this? A lot of us at MyRepublic have come from some of the NBN companies. We understand how it was constructed. We understand how to configure it. We understand how to use it. So we build specific connectivity for specific applications. So what does this mean to you? This means if you're trying to watch a Korean drama series at 10 p.m. at night, it'll work. There's no buffering, there's no lag time. If you're playing an online game at 11 o'clock at night, you'll have a competitive edge against the person you're trying to fight with. You'll have a better network and a better experience. When Apple TV comes to Singapore later this year, you can download a 2-hour movie in 7 minutes. I've done it. I have MyRepublic in my house. It's a truly joyous experience. So how do we do it? What is it that we do that the incumbents are not doing? And really, it's very simple. So we tune the network to optimize all our traffic. So as we mentioned, if you're a gamer and if you go to some of the popular gaming sites, our engineering team actually monitors traffic capability to those locations, and we ensure that we have a great experience. A great example is in December, a new online game called Old Republic launched. And when it started, we got a complaint. Our latency to that site was terrible. It was around 300 milliseconds. So we came back, we checked with our upstream provider, we re-engineered the route, and we cut the latency down to well under 200 milliseconds. And we did that. So now we actively monitor connections to these locations, and we actively react to what people tell us. We also make sure that we know video streaming is a critical application. So we make sure everybody has guaranteed capacity even at peak hours. We don't do international caps, and we personalize the experience for each customer. And we talked about our different products. So as an example, if you like to stream, you would buy our Pure service. It gives you the guaranteed capacity. If you're a gamer, we have a separate network that we built just for gamers. It's low latency. You don't get affected by somebody who's doing peer-to-peer traffic. And the third product we've done is we've partnered with some local providers. We've created what we call as a tutor package. And this is an online tutorial exam preparation tool website. We've done a wholesale deal with them. We pass on the savings we have from that wholesale service and bundle it into our broadband connectivity. So your kids at home can access that service. They can get tutorial services for math, science, English, and Chinese. And they do it through a premium broadband experience. So that kind of brings us to the end of the wall garden story. Here at MyRepublic, we're tearing down these wall gardens. We're trying to give Singapore broadband consumers, a premium experience, and enjoy all the innovation that's available on the NGN. I'm going to pass it over to a colleague of mine. His name is Lawrence Chan. He's our resident superhero and head of internet gaming experience. So, Lawrence, here you go.
Thank you, Malcolm. Hi, everyone. My name is Lawrence, and I head up the gaming experience in MyRepublic. I'm also part of the product team. And today, I'd like to share with you guys more about how we have built this company for the customer and gone against the traditional big telco model. Now, Malcolm mentioned that we have a next-generation infrastructure, but it's not enough to have a next-generation infrastructure. Nowadays, you have next-generation needs, next-generation priorities, and we need to run the business in a next-generation way, a next-generation way of running businesses. When you're talking about a next-generation business, you cannot escape the fact about the personal experience of your users. Now, there are more and more ways of using the internet today. It's practically exploded. And users of the internet is constantly evolving. Companies have to evolve with that. At MyRepublic, we are. Now, not only is there more content on the internet like video and music, the internet, something interesting happened in the past few years. The internet has gone social. People come home at night after work at 9 p.m. They gather with 24 other people that they don't know. And they go together online in an online game and slay dragons. Or people pick up a phone and they call use Skype to call their loved ones. Now, these are social needs, and the internet is facilitating that. When these services go down or they're not optimal, people get really frustrated. And us as a company, we have to understand that. And the only way we can understand that is to listen to our consumers. We have to listen to customers, see what they need, and then really importantly, we have to act on it. We listen and tune our network to how our consumers use it. We constantly find their needs, and we act on that. Now, some examples are like if you were to use voice chat using Skype, you talk about things like jitter. Jitter is how stable your internet packets are. And when you talk about gaming, you talk about latency, how fast traffic packets move. And when you talk about downloading, you want to know how fast things are coming in, so it's bandwidth. Understanding these needs helps us customize our infrastructure to make sure that the experience is optimal for each and every consumer. And it's not only that. When you understand your consumers, it comes all the way from every touch point you have with them. From ordering, we understand that people do not like the queue, even though there are really long queues at every IT show. So what we have done is that we made sure that we have 50 over dealer sites that you can actually sign up with MyRepublic all over Singapore. And when you call us up to sign up, we have a dedicated customer rep to walk you through the entire process. Now, one of the bugbears that I have as a consumer is that I have to take, whenever someone wants to do an installation in my house, I have to take time off, go home, get out of work, and this disrupts your time and what you plan to do that day. So what we have made sure is that for evening and weekend installations, no extra charge. And when you call support, they're there every evening and weekends. This brings down to a philosophy. To treat every customer equally, you have to treat them differently. Now, allow me to talk about one of my greatest loves in my life, World of Warcraft. Now, it's a love-hate relationship. We have been in a relationship for almost 5 years. She's not treated me well. I spent too much time on her, and, you know, it's that kind of relationship. So, for those of you who don't know, World of Warcraft is not my girlfriend, but sometimes it tries to be. But it is the world's most popular online role-playing game. It has 11 million customers all across the world, and I read reports that Singapore has 30,000 players. Now, I'd like to take you guys down memory lane. 1 year ago, thousands of customers all over Singapore had their latency to World of Warcraft skyrocket. The game was unplayable. Now, so what these players do, imagine this is your life. You come home every night to play your favorite game, and this gives you great joy. So when you can't play it, you go, oh no, what am I going to do? Am I going to snap my keyboard in half today? No, I take one step back, I pick up my phone, I call my ISP. Hi, I can't play World of Warcraft. Please help me. And it's what do you think happened? It's what was expected. As we took one step back, looked at the situation and said, hey, we can't support your online game. We can't support the most popular online game in the world. So your poor customer takes another step back, really frustrated, thinks about snapping his keyboard again, but he decides, okay, I'll go online, I'll contact the game developer. And what does the game developer do? Takes one step back, says, hey, we can't handle how ISPs treat these our data packets. We can't help you. No one wants to take responsibility for this. We at MyRepublic, we want to take responsibility for the customer experience in all aspects. Now, I'm the head of the gamer experience team, and one of my passions is this gamer product that we built. Now, we built this gamer product because we listened to this really passionate gaming community. And one of the things they told us is that no one really gets them. No one understands the things they do, no one understands the language they speak, and they're really frustrated. So when you sign up with MyRepublic today on a gamer product, not only do you play your games on a great connectivity, customized routes to the game servers that you play at, you also have a great experience. When you pick up a call, you talk to a technical staff, there's a dedicated customer rep for gamers. They speak your language, they play your games. And there is also a dedicated community manager managing that experience, constantly getting feedback on the games people play and the needs they have. we constantly get feedback from communities. And one of the great communities there is online in Singapore is Hardware Zone. I know there's some of you down there. I know we have some people from Hardware Zone today. Thanks so much in advance because the feedback you've given us help us build our company. And something that was mentioned in Hardware Zone a couple of months back, people wanted shorter contracts. We do not want to be tied down for 2 years. So MyRepublic, we went back, looked at the drawing board, said that was really reasonable. So okay, we have 12-month contracts now. When people had specialized needs, we needed static IP for certain applications or certain hosting services that they wanted to do. We took one step back, and we're happy to announce today we are launching our static IP program. We launched it yesterday. It's coming in end of March, and it's going to be available and affordable. We listen and we act. That's the underlying philosophy of MyRepublic. In order to understand our customers, we listen. And in order to make them happy, we act, because our customer is king. And that kind of wraps up my end of the passion we have for product and the customer experience. We also did a little video that we are kind of proud of. We are not great actors, but we decided to speak ourselves. So without further ado, hope you enjoy it. Please play the video. Thanks.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure after Anning introduced me, you expect me to be in a general or warrior suit. All right. Well, I've been in the telecom industry for a long time. Well, basically building multi-million-dollar companies. All right. I was there during the beginning when we started M1 in 1996. And I was there with StarHub building the company from ground zero to a billion-dollar company. And after that, I went to Cambodia, heading M-Phone as a chief commercial officer, bringing them from 350,000 customers to 1 million in a short period of 9 months. Now, what am I doing here? When I heard of the government introducing the next generation NGN, we were all very excited about it. As a matter of fact, we believe that this is a milestone in the evolution of this industry. And what we did, we waited and waited, hoping that the three big guys would do something about it. You know what? Nothing was done. Like what Malcolm explained, basically they built this super highway, there's 8 lanes, and they give you a horse and a carriage and said, start moving. When we look at this, we said, hey, there's something really wrong with this whole business. And we've decided on one fine morning to say, if they are not going to do it, we will do it. And that is when MyRepublic was created. You heard all the marvelous things that my colleague has shared with all of you. All right, what we have introduced in the marketplace, our tutor pack, the gamer pack, and our pure broadband. What is important is this. We listen to the consumer, and we understand the real needs of the consumer. And from there, we'll go back to our room and map out the blueprint for next generation network. The important thing is this. While this has been done, we feel that it's not enough. We want everyone in Singapore to enjoy and realize the full potential of our ultra-fast fiber broadband. So we are pleased to introduce today what is a bold step in this industry. We believe in giving back the control back to the consumer. And what's important is we are giving pure freedom to each and every one of you. And what's important is that we believe that you know what to do with the internet. You know what you like. You know what kind of movies you like to watch. You know what kind of sports programs you love. And You know what kind of games you love. All right? So now, for the first time ever in this industry, MyRepublic will introduce you no contract. Why no contract, you may ask? We believe that everyone should enjoy the next generation broadband and enjoy the full speed of this superhighway. And what's important is that we want you to try it. There's no commitment. And most importantly is, if we fail, you are free to leave. That is that bold step we are taking because we believe in our product. At MyRepublic, we stand by our promise, we stand by our product, and we stand by our service. We are very proud of this national broadband, and we are working very closely with OpenNet and Nucleus Connect. Looking forward, we see our no contract as the very beginning. We have set up very ambitious plan and objective for MyRepublic over the next 3 to 6 months and the next 3 years. So, if you are excited about the possibility of this ultra-fast fiber broadband, but are hungry for even more than what you are getting, my advice to all of you is watch this space. Thank you.
Basically, it gives us a real freedom. In the event that I'm not happy with any service or what, right, I can just terminate the contract.
I feel it's great. It's different from the other three service provider.
Small players to be able to have a nice offer, well done, and serve it accordingly to the need.